You don't want to sit with me? They want to hear from you most.
Ready to get started?
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the University of Massachusetts. I know we're all excited to have Don Brown back with us for the third time to lead our football program. Just tonight, we're going to hear some comments from our athletic director, Ryan Bamford, followed by a statement from Don, and then we'll take some questions. So without further ado, our athletic director, Ryan Bamford.
Thank you, Ash. All right, we've got some folks on Zoom here. I can see Steve Buckley and Howard. Good to have them with us. Welcome to all of our media members who are with us here in the audience and those that are following online, our supporters, a number of you, and our alums, football alums especially, who have come back for this great day, December 1st, and us welcoming back Coach Brown. And for those that are online watching this stream, thank you for your support and your interest in our football program. I want to welcome back Coach Brown and his wife, Deb, and their 4 children and 11 grandchildren. It is 11, right? 11 grandchildren, and we have some of them with us today, and I know more will be coming. So we'll be able to add at least 16 to our game attendance every game, home game next year, doing the math. So that'll be great. But welcome back. We are so excited for this day and this announcement. I want to get a couple of thank yous out to some very important people to our university, our athletics program, and our football program in particular. And then I'll share some comments on Coach Brown and give him a chance to address you, and then we'll take some questions. In particular, I'd like to thank our president, President Meehan, and the president's office in particular. There's a number of folks who work very closely with our athletics program, but President Meehan, a huge football fan, a New England Patriots season ticket holder, and was very excited about this process and engaged and having a number of conversations throughout with him about our selection and in our search process. Jim Julian, Executive Vice President in the President's Office, also extremely engaged, a huge supporter of our campus and a great advocate for us in Boston. So thank you to those two in particular. We're very fortunate to have the greatest campus leader in the country. I know that's no surprise to those sitting here and those watching online. And we're fortunate, I don't know why he's sitting in the back row, but Chancellor Subbaswamy is here with us, and I will say in my 6 years, there's no greater leader that I've been around on a campus, on a college campus. And you've seen the ascension of this university under his leadership for the last 10 years. It's absolutely remarkable, and he is to be thanked for all the good work, and we are extremely grateful in athletics for his leadership and support. So, Chancellor, thank you for being here and your support every day in the way that you have for us. I do want to say thank you to a number of members of our football family in particular, and we have a number of them here today. Rick Kelleher, who is a trustee as well of the university. Rick has been a great supporter, former president of our foundation board. Steve Schubert, who was a teammate of Rick's, also was great at getting advice from Steve throughout this process and throughout the years. Billy DeFlavio, who's here, great leader for us in our Gridiron membership and Gridiron board. Paul Manganero, who's also here. Paul, thank you for your good work. Peter and Frank DiTomaso. Bob Foote, one of our first All-Americans in football at this institution, a great supporter. Kari Mitchell and James Ahedebo, 2 guys that I know you're familiar with, and you'd like a couple of those guys to walk through the door with some eligibility, I know. Thank you to them. They were great in talking through a number of things related to this search. Rini Agolia, Mike Tannenbaum also had a number of conversations with the 2 of them. And then we've got just a fantastic Gridiron club, but especially Gridiron board. And a couple members of our Gridiron board, Cliff Bolden, Tom Mullen, are here. I want to thank them and all of the work that our Gridiron Club does to support our football program. We're pleased to announce that we've got a stated goal of raising $1 million by December 15th, and we're at just over $900,000 in that goal now. And it's because of the good work of all of those folks, so thank you to them. in particular. I also want to thank a former player of ours who's familiar to everyone here, and that's number 62, Alex Miller, who was the captain of our 06 team. Alex stepped in capably the last 4 weeks as we made a coaching change to lead our program. And I learned very quickly when we went after Alex to come here as our offensive line coach how much he loves this place and has done a remarkable job mentoring our young men and stepping in a role for the last month or so to lead our program. Alex, thank you for your work. And thank you to the other football staff members, coaching staff, as well as our support staff for their work, especially in this last month, really making sure that our young men had every opportunity to compete at a high level, and all the work that we've done to support them in the classroom as well, which is really important at this institution. Also like to thank our executive leadership team in athletics, who's been tremendously supportive throughout this process, as well as our external team, between advancement, our sales and marketing folks, and in particular, a couple of folks, and I know one of them I don't think's here tonight. Chris Tucci did a lot of work behind the scenes as we made this announcement to get graphics and things built, and a lot of creative work. Ashley Santolo, who you heard from, who's just joined us, who's our football contact. Ashley, thank you for your good work. And then those of you that are at home, without Taylor Wink, you wouldn't be able to watch this. So on short notice, Taylor put together our broadcast, and I want to thank him, as well as our facility staff, for getting us organized here in the Football Performance Center. So thank you to our staff for all your good work this last couple days and last couple weeks, I should say. So thank you to them. I know there's a gentleman watching at home who has a sincere interest in this hire and in this football program, and we're all sitting in the Martin Jacobson Football Performance Center, and I want to say hello to Marty, who's watching, and thank Marty for his support. He has been so plugged in my 6 years to our athletics program, and such an avid supporter of our football program in particular. And obviously through his philanthropic efforts, but through the ways that he's also built and collaborated on a number of fronts to drive our program forward. So I want to thank Marty for his contributions and ongoing contributions moving forward. And then last but not least, I want to thank our student athletes. Going through a coaching change, especially when you have to make the change in the middle of a competitive season, is not easy. And we have a really good, resilient bunch. They have kept their head down. They have played for each other. They have played for our supporters. They have pride in the maroon and white. And I want to thank the young men in our program. I know a number of them are watching here online, and I want to thank them for their contributions. And I know that they all desired to get better and to develop, and I know that we have the right head coach who's going to allow them to do that. Don Brown is a coach that is certainly familiar to the flagship, certainly familiar to the University of Massachusetts, and throughout his career has distinguished himself as a tremendous defensive mind, but more than that, a tremendous football coach, leader, developer, connector, and mentor to young men. And I've had the great privilege of knowing Don and his family for 30 years now, believe it or not. It's hard to imagine. And I've followed Don from his career when I first met him at Plymouth State to now the last 30 years, and watched how successful he's been. But more than that, I've been so impressed with the relationships that he's built over time. That's what great coaches do. And in talking through his impact on a number of student athletes that I had the ability to talk to through this coaching search, and previous to this, that just had a connection either to this university or others that I've come in contact with, anytime Coach Brown's name has come up, there's always been great stories and anecdotes about his impact and how he's driven, not only in football, but in life, young men to success. And I thought before I introduce him, leave you with one quick anecdote that I learned of recently. And it's of a young man who was a backup special teams player. I'll leave out the institution and the young man and just leave it at he was a backup special teams player who got into the game because of an injury. And unfortunately, was part of a play that resulted in the opponent scoring a touchdown on a special teams play. And he was the result of the touchdown, his mistake. And came off the field as a backup, and Coach Brown came over to him, put his hands on his shoulder pads, and said, don't worry about it. You get the next one. I believe in you. And there are no greater things to hear about your next leader than something like that. And I can tell you, college football needs more Don Browns, and UMass is happy to have him back here at home. So without further ado, Coach Don Brown.
Good evening. Great to be back. What a great place. Sometimes you got to go away, a long way from home to realize, where you belong. And, this particular opportunity, it was just the right time. And I'm just fortunate that I was in the right place. And the challenges that are in front of us, I'm just excited about. The one thing that I feel strongly about is my passion for the University of Massachusetts and its players. Sunday, my wife and I flew back from Tucson, got in rather late, about 9 o'clock, got up Monday morning and started recruiting Massachusetts, and it's been amazing how many people, hey, Coach, we're glad you're back in Massachusetts, and obviously good luck in your new challenge. And again, it's just a great opportunity. So at the end of the day on Monday, I got a chance to go to a team meeting, and I'll be honest with you, the passion just rolled out. We had a good 30-minute discussion, and the guys were excited. I was excited. I was, I don't want to tell you, but it was exciting. Let's say colorful. And, we had a great discussion. Followed that up Tuesday morning with individual player meetings, and then right back on the road quickly for recruiting Tuesday afternoon. Today, got a chance to meet all the pieces of the support staff and within our program, and I can tell you, greatness sits in our building. There's so many quality people, and Alex Miller, who was my captain back in '06, has done a tremendous job, and obviously was my first hire here, and couldn't be more excited to have him with me. And, it's just nice when you walk in, Billy DeFlavio's there to greet you. It's like old home week. Him and I, it's like we never lost sight of one another. So with that being said, I'd be glad to answer any questions that you may have. Excited to be here, and really excited to set this program and get this thing going in the right direction. Winter workouts will be a lot of fun. I keep telling the guys, hey guys, right, LA? Get ready for the mat room, because I'm going to attack you. And, so that was the ploy in my individual meetings and spring practice. And I guarantee you we're going to put a competitive product on the field this fall. And I thank Ryan for all he's done. We've got a great schedule. I think the schedule is outstanding as we look at it this fall, and my goal is to have everybody prepared to play in our first game. We've got a lot of things to cover, scheme on both sides of the ball and in special teams. Got to get the guys in great shape, and We got to have a group that's hard, that's physical, and is willing to put 100% of their body and 100% of their mind on the line. So with that being said, I'll take any questions if there is any. Any questions? Yeah, go ahead. Well, obviously, the first goal is we got to get competitive, and we got to be in a position where we have a chance to compete and to compete at a high level. To do that, winter workouts are going to be completely, really the important piece. We got to get in great shape, starting to integrate with our scheme, what we're going to do offensively, the things we'll do defensively, and obviously being sound in special teams. But it's kind of more than that. You know, you've got to be able to play compatible football. That means the offense complements the defense, and the defense complements the offense. And what I'm talking about is you got to eliminate pre-snap penalties, the offsides, the delay of games. Those kind of things are really critical to success. If you're constantly behind the sticks because of those tight penalties, you know, it's just hard to have any rhythm. The other piece that's important is you got to play at a high level, meaning your energy level has got to be super excited on both sides of the ball. You know, people say, well, Coach, you know, what about missed tackles? It's okay when you miss a tackle and the first defender gets there and he misses getting the guy on the ground. But when the second, third, and fourth guy are right behind him converging on the ball and getting the guy on the ground, it minimizes the damage and really turns what could be a missed tackle into really just a four-man converged tackle. And that goes on the other side of the ball on offense. When the ball goes over there, the whole offense goes over there. You never know when a guy's going to pop a run, make a break, and then obviously, you know, it turns into an explosive play. So all those things are really important, playing compatible football, minimizing the penalties, which is critical, and, you know, obviously getting guys to play at a high level. To be honest, you know, when I had a discussion with Ryan, it certainly became the goal. And the thing that makes it different is, you know, I've been a defensive coordinator here with Mark Whipple, and we came in '98 following a tough '97 campaign, and, you know, we just worked hard, both sides of the ball, special teams, and, you know, you win a national title. You follow that up with a trip to the playoffs again in '99. Then, obviously, had the opportunity to be a head coach and took it, and then the opportunity to come back to UMass as the head coach. And, you know, again, '06, we're playing for the national title, and '07, we're back in the playoffs. And I think the passion that I have for UMass, coupled with the opportunity to be a head coach again, was just too good to pass up. I never look at time as an excuse for not being ready to play. The bottom line is make good decisions as a staff and as a head coach to give your guys the tools necessary to A, move the ball on offense, B, defend on defense, and C, special teams to be good. You know, good things happen when you end each offensive series with a kick. So that could be a punt. Well, okay, you didn't move the ball into the red zone. You didn't get where you needed to go, so you punt the ball. It's not the worst thing in the world. Now your second one is, you know, you move the ball into the scoring area and you kick a field goal. Great. You know, it's not what you want, but it's certainly close, and it's a positive play and the end to a positive series. And then obviously when you score the touchdown and you kick the extra point through the uprights, you know then that, hey, that's what you're searching for. So if you end every offensive series with a kick, that's a pretty good thing. So that's really the deal there. And then defensively, you know, running to the ball and getting off the field on third down are big deals. And, you know, obviously the one other thing is just getting guys to play at a tremendous pace is critical. You want to play for me? Run. Both sides. Better run. You don't run, you don't play. It's real simple. And it's, you know, guys buy into that principle and they get it. And, you know, that's what's exciting.
All right, team. We'll start taking questions again for Coach Brown right here.
Yeah, Coach. Coach Fish at Arizona obviously had a lot of nice things to say about you upon your departure, and made a comment about how they made an effort to try and keep you there and keep you in the program. I guess you obviously have family here and the big tie in that regard and ties to the program, but I mean, ultimately, how difficult was it to leave that situation and make the ultimate switch from that family?
Well, again, going to Arizona with Jed, and he and I worked together in 2016 at Michigan. He was pass game coordinator, I think was his title. And obviously I was the defensive coordinator. So obviously when we tied together and took on that challenge, you know, I didn't look at it as a short-term situation. But when the opportunity presented itself, I knew it was the right thing for me at the right time. You know, I'm a challenge guy. I love challenges. So with this one and me having such a strong affinity for this university on this campus, money wasn't an issue. You know, relativity to, is that where are you in terms of the pecking order, in terms of jobs, was not an issue. This was a place that I feel very strongly about, and obviously I feel like I can make a difference, so I just, nobody was going to stop me from doing it. And after a couple days, I know I've made the right decision.
Coach, we have James from the Daily Collegian on Zoom. He wants to know what some of the immediate goals you have for next season are.
Well, obviously, we want to win the first game, because that's going to be our focus. Is each week is a separate unit. So your preparation for week one will begin, obviously, at the end of August, and we're going to get ready to play that game. And what are you saying? That Tulane? And, obviously that'll be the important piece. Get ready to compete and put it on a line against Tulane. And that's as far as I'm going to go in terms of the on-field. Now, getting our guys in tremendous physical condition, that'll be a huge task of our strength staff. Challenge our guys in the off-season with physical challenges. For example, the mat room, which I've alluded to, which is my favorite place to be, is competing in the mat room in the off-season. Right, Cliff? Am I right? L.A., am I right? So that's when I'm in heaven. When I'm chasing the guys around the mat room, I feel pretty good. And, then obviously we have a chance to, be in great physical condition and then take on the challenges on the football field, which is what it's all about. So, and then during the process of this, confidence becomes a big issue, not only in themselves, but believing in the scheme, believing in one another, believing that everybody's in it and pulling from the same rope. So, there's just so many things that go into it that I can't even think beyond the first game. But I guarantee you, each game and each week of preparation will be, will get our sole attention, and we'll be totally prepared in each and every task.
You mentioned how you've gone to multiple schools so far around the New England area. How much of a priority is the lockdown recruiting in New England?
Well, if you ask the high school coaches in this great state and throughout New England who their most common visitor is, I've been doing this a long time, 40 plus years, and I've made New England recruiting wherever I've been a priority. I have several players at the University of Michigan as we speak. Boston College, I can go on and on and on, but the bottom line is I believe in the New England student athletes. I believe in the high school coaches that teach these fine young men. And, it's always been a major goal of mine to include the New England's elite when it comes to recruiting. So, I feel very strongly about the relationships that I have with these coaches. And when they, when you walk in a high school and a specific coach, we won't go by name, goes, I know you'll take care of this guy. I take that very seriously.
I've got Howard Herman from the Berkshire Eagle. Have you had a chance to watch any game tape of UMass currently? And what are some things that you're looking to do on both offense and defense?
I've got to be honest. I will not watch a game. Wherever I've gone, I have not worried about what's gone on behind me. I worry about what's in front of me. I got a cute little nickname, and I used to get aggravated with it. Now I just kind of welcome it. Hey, what's Dr. Blitz got going this week? Well, I can tell you this. I have a philosophy. We solve our problems with aggression, not only on defense, which obviously is a natural, but on offense as well, and in the special teams. That's the name that is across the sign. The sign that'll be across our offices is solve your problems with aggression. Now, we don't do that off the field, but we do it on the field. And it's a high priority to make sure that our guys are playing on the balls of their feet and not on their heels.
Now, the last time you were here as head coach, obviously a one-time-a-life program, you recruited heavily from one end. Which is a big reason for our success, and especially in 06 and 07.
Yes, sir.
What are you going to do now? Are you going to try to bring in other 20
You just said the magic two words, the transfer portal. You know, I've been connected with a lot of players, not only throughout the East Coast, but throughout the country. And those high school players that I feel very strongly about, you know, we're courting them as we speak. The transfer portal is an opportunity to get a mature player that, A, knows how to practice, B, knows how to take care of his academics, C, is a guy that, you know, is more mature, physically mature, and has been through a college system. So those guys, you know, you don't want your whole team to be that way, but it's nice when you have a couple of depth chart issues that you can plug in an experienced guy that can go ahead and provide leadership for the position group. So I will say this. The transfer portal for us will be, you know, replaces the 1AA, you know, the old rule where the 1A players could come down to 1AA. It's really become the balance across the country. And if you look the last 3 days, 98, 96, another 90 today, you know, there's 100+ guys hitting the transfer portal every day. And it would behoove you to be smart and pay attention to what's going on a day-to-day basis in that portal.
Coach, in 04, Mark Bertrand, well, recently Mark Bertrand tweeted out about how in 04, your opening press conference, James Gazebo snuck into the room and asked you about what type of defense you were going to run. And you gave a pretty good answer about your philosophy and ended it with saying people are going to know that UMass is here to play. So in the spirit of that and obviously your return, what type of defense are you going to run?
I got to give you a James Hadabo story. Can I do that first? I really got to do this. So we're in the red zone at practice. James is the strong safety. So we're running one of our red zone coverages, which is a trap concept. So I'm kind of watching the quarterback through the middle of the formation, and he's out here on the flank. And the receiver from that side runs a slant route. And you notice how I'm bringing that hand to my face? He hit me so hard in the chin. I went feet up, nose, everything. They're sticking gauze in my nose. And I'm like, and he's like horrified. Coach, I didn't mean to hit you. I'm like, I'm fine, let's go. I was barely coherent when that whole thing happened. But that tells you what James Hadabo was. He was one tough cookie. But my philosophy for college football was developed here. The pressure schemes over those years were developed here, and especially during the when we were in the playoff structure, playing new teams. And knowing that you had to, bring some new things to the table so that your guys had a chance to compete at an elite level. So, this place helped me groom my craft. And it's kind of fitting that I'm back here, to continue to work hard and continue my craft. That remains to be seen. As we're plugging in over the next week to 10 days, some of the guys that I'm talking to are still playing. So, I can't, and obviously I don't want to put their names out there, and I won't do that. But there are some guys that are on the staff that are still in the hunt, and they're waiting as the dust settles. I was just so familiar with Alex, and I knew what I was getting, that was painless. I mean, that was a no-brainer, bringing him along, and I know what I'm going to get on a day-to-day basis. I mean, you watch a guy smash guys for 3 years, you know what you're getting. And you know, I'm just proud that he's with me, and obviously he's already made a huge impact in helping us getting off the ground here as we move forward on a day-to-day basis.
We'll take just a couple more, Matt.
Yes, sir. That's the man's elite. That's his elite position. That's where he goes.
You've talked a lot about what UMass means to you. What would it mean to you, from a legacy standpoint, from personal standpoint, to feel like you put UMass at the level that you feel like it can get to? That you feel like to make this program.
That's going to happen. That's going to happen.
What will it mean to you to do it?
Mean a lot. It'll, you know, this is home. This is what it's all about for me. You know, I've kind of gone full circle. And what a beautiful, you know, how many people wish that they could go full circle in their professional life. So I'm excited about it. And I'm going to work tirelessly to make it happen. And I have no doubt we're going to get there. And what is that? What is the ultimate for us? Wouldn't it be nice to be playing in a bowl game? That's the beauty right there. If we get ourselves into a bowl game and bring our first bowl trophy home at this level, it would be a special, I think, a very special moment.
Dylan.
With the transfer portal being as wide open as it is, but also talking about how you want to recruit and moving so well, how do you plan to balance your 32 players you can bring in this offseason between people you bring in through the transfer portal and then recruits?
Well, you know, I'll give you an example, okay? Because I think that's a tremendous question, by the way. We're looking at, for example, the linebacker position, okay? The inside linebacker position. We're not very deep. So what we're trying to do is balance between get a developmental player or two that are coming out of high school that we believe will become elite linebackers. And then evaluating guys that are in the transfer portal. And, you know, here's the beauty. You get a chance, okay, here's Johnny Jones. He's from Smith University. Put his tape on. You make the decision. So you better make a good one. And, you know, when you do that, you have a chance to get a guy that you're watching on the tape. He runs the way you want him to run. He's physical the way you want him to be. You know, his angles of entry on the run game and his angles of departure in the pass game are excellent. You have a chance to get, you know, guys that are at that upper level that can help bring along the young guys. And I think, you know, you just have to make good judgment. All right, we've got two young linebackers that we like. All right, let's go get two veteran guys. Now we got four good guys, and plus the two that are already here. Now you feel like you can function at a high level. Now, some positions, you're in great shape. Do you have to go into the transfer portal? No. Then you develop those guys on your own because, you know, over a 4-year period of time, you're going to get them where you want them to go. So you can utilize the transfer portal as a place where you can go and fill holes in your depth chart. And not only fill holes in the depth chart, provide leadership, provide, you know, that physicality that a high school player moving into the college ranks still needs to work on. You know, when we put him in the weight room, we bring him along in a year or 2 years, and the next thing you know, he's gone from 215 to 230. Now he's the mature player. So, good question. I really think it's a good question, and, you know, that's the thing that we've had to do is say, okay, you know, the linebacker position inside, we've got to certainly get some help, and we're addressing that on a day-to-day basis. Check Twitter.
Last question for either Ryan or Coach Brown. Take right here.
We saw some really great student sections this last year. What would your message be
Well, I'll tell you, we've got to get every student available to every single game. And they've got to be our heart and soul. And they've got to provide us with energy that helps get us over the top. And, you know, I'm going to be out there, and we're going to do some things to encourage, you know, the young fans to come to the games and our student section to be as good as we can make it. You know, there's some challenges there because there's a lot of things to do on a campus in New England. But at the same time, we want the campus to stop and give us a chance. And I think they're going to be excited about the product on the field, and they're going to be excited about the energy that our players bring to the table.
We'll wrap it up here, guys. Thank you so much for coming. Please stick around, say hey to Coach Brown. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me to set up anything. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good.